Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Leo Naranjo IV here, candidate for governor in the 2026 election race. Hi. I always try to be in a good mood when I bring up these videos. I'm sitting on my porch right now with my screens down and enjoying my backyard that I had to clean up so I could enjoy my backyard. And just had a Modoc, California, county of Modoc, California, way up north. Had an endorsement Zoom call. Thank you very much for the opportunity of having that participation in a Zoom call for endorsement out of Modoc County Central Committee, Republican Party. Impressive. Why am I calling about it? Well, I'll let you know. It's hurry up, wait. Have to wait and see what they do. They asked if there were deadlines that certain candidates needed to have for endorsement. A couple of people, well, I'd like to get it sooner or later. Not later, but sooner. I'm like this. It's your endorsement committee. Go over what you've been given thoroughly before you make the commitment. We're candidates. When you're done, you're going to let us know. And if we can't wait, then maybe we need to go elsewhere to look for it. Because I'm not buying something from you, am I? I'm trying to earn something from you. Big difference. So I don't have an expectation of when they're going to deliver. You just put it in God's hands and you let it go where it goes. But in that meeting, lo and behold, Mr. Bianco was present. Oh my. Riding in his limo or whatever the hell he's riding in. Style. Down south probably. Saw a lot of palm trees, so I can only presume it was down south. Get myself adjusted here. There we go. Okay, down south, yes. I don't like that. I'm going to do this. Perfect. Sorry for the camera movements, folks. It is what it is. He was down south doing his thing. Yep. And Mr. Bianco made some interesting commentaries today as part of his repertoire to be endorsed by Modoc County, which I kind of get the feeling they're leaning his way anyway. For those of you that are Elizabeth Borkahanis followers, hi. I didn't get the opportunity to actually speak with you, but I did see you there at the convention. I saw the guy you were with. I'm presuming is your old man, your husband, boyfriend, significant other, whatever you want to call him. Thought about stepping up to you, but then I heard the grumblings that there had been a couple of people that stepped up to you, and you pulled some strings, agitated some favors, and got them removed from the convention. Did I really want to go through that melodrama with you? Not particularly, no. So I didn't step forward to say hi or anything else. But I'm on this platform today because you're not as influential here as you could be and that you exuded at the convention at the GOP San Diego timeframe. Is that a challenge? No, not a challenge, just a statement of fact. Because here, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. If you ever want to meet in person, that's fine too. Yeah, we could do that, but we're not going to be on your controlled territory where you get to silence opposition, which you seem to be getting famous for, listening to the whispers from other people. So, Ms. Borkahanis, your thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to speak out of turn, you are a hotshot in the Republican Party that manages to make yourself cute enough to be on TV often. And I think that's the only reason why you hang in the Republican Party, so that you can be on TV to promote yourself, not necessarily the party or the people in it, of it, or for it. Your claim to fame was in the last election when you blasted people for being morons for waiting until election day to cast a ballot. Vote early or you're a dumbass. Vote early. Stop being stupid. Throw that ballot in now and vote by mail. or you are a loser like all the other Republicans that don't vote at all. Wow. I talked about you way back when on how you were addressing the very people that you're trying to get votes from. And your claim to fame was you were browbeating them because you were like a taskmaster with that whip. Beat that ass so you can get to that voting poll and drop your ballot in the mail early. Vote by mail is what you were expounding on. Your buddy Roxanne Hogue, same thing. Vote by mail. Vote early. That's funny. That's hella funny what you keep pressing on. Because today, in the Modoc conversation that we had on our Zoom call, that is a 1,000% exact opposite of what your boy Mr. Bianco was putting out there. We're going to do away with mail balloting. The exceptions are handicapped, doctor-related, and militaries. Or if you're on vacation and you contact early that you're going to be gone during that time frame. He said we're going to get away by removing 1 or 2 days off of the schedule, the calendar, taking away those vacation days. I'll come back to that in a moment. We're going to get rid of those vacation days and make a day just for we can go and have a vote to vote on election day. The same day voting. Wow, Elizabeth, how do you square with that? Bianco said same day voting. Your happy ass says vote by mail. And I know you'll worm your little way out of it and say, well, it doesn't matter, at least you vote. No, that does matter. Because your little ignorant ass was talking about you're a dumbass if you vote on voting day and you don't vote by mail. Suck up to what you did before and embrace the moment. I always find that funny for you people in LA to make such noise about voting by mail when everybody else is talking about doing away with that process. Who's disconnected? They are or you are? Who's the bigger dumbass? They are or you are? Moving on. We're going to take away a day, holiday, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe a couple of holidays, because Mr. Bianco feels we have too many holidays on the books. Could be right, could be wrong. Almost like you got a whole day off once a month. Some months have 2. Okay, so what? Still got to get work done. But you want to take away a day, maybe replace it with a day of voting. That's your plan, Mr. Bianco. Yeah, that's a guy that doesn't know shit about unions and how anything else works in the labor market because you as a manager don't give a rat's ass about your labor. You forgot where you came from. You've been at it for so long, you forgot a lot of things, but you are an expert in Riverside County. You've dealt with 14 tribes, is what you said today. Well, let me clue you in on something, sir. They might be considered sovereign nations, but they're not really sovereign nations. They don't have their own army. They don't have their own military. They don't have their own laws. They don't have their own borders. They are sovereign nations within the confines of the United States, but still considered United States citizens. The Indian nations is what generally people refer to them as. You deal with 14? Great, so what? You deal with 14 nations throughout the world? No, you don't. Do you deal with massive amounts of budgets? Oh, you said that you got all kinds of realm of control. You control police forces? You control sheriff forces? Wow, I find that incredulous. You control so many law enforcement agencies, but you couldn't find that human trafficking event in Hemet, California? With all the law enforcement capabilities at your possession, you couldn't see that happening beneath your very nose? Maybe they got over on you because you were busy. You were campaigning. Or you were doing something else. Who knows? Looks like you need a little decentralization down there in that area. Maybe we need to break up Riverside County to something more manageable or smaller? Well, that's a possibility. Never know. Shit happens. But the question at hand is, you boasted about having a $1.3 billion budget that's always in the black. Wow, that's impressive. Your budget is in the black? Maybe you spoke out of turn because you really don't know diddly jack about budgeting. You, as a sheriff, list down things that you need, and then you submit it for approval by your county council, and you get what you need because they approve your budget. Now, for government purposes, that means that every year you have to spend down to zero. There is no in the black, sir. You have to spend the money off. And they don't really care how you spend it, as long as it's spent. Let me give you a fast example, Mr. Hilton, or Mr. Bianco, because I know you like to make stories about your 33 years of experience in Riverside County, and you don't know much about anything else except 33 years of Riverside County. In the military, I was given a budget too, very small budget, office budget, $5,000, nothing major like you. And I thought I was doing something great when I still had almost $2,000 of that money left over by the end of the fiscal year, until my boss came down into a complete and utter panic, asking what the hell was I doing. I said, saving money. No, Sergeant Ronho, we don't do that here. I need you to clean that budget out so that we can get $5,000 next year. Oh, we don't save? No, we don't save a dime. We save a dime, our budget gets reduced. Oh, okay. What do? He said, you spend it. Well, we have most everything in the office. What do you want me to spend it on? He said, I don't give a damn what you spend it on, as long as it's spent by the end of tomorrow, close the business. So I went and bought out about 300 picture frames made of oak, because those are expensive, and a bunch of other sundries. But the biggest process was buying out those picture frames made of oak, because those are expensive, in order to zero out my budget for the fiscal year, which I accomplished to within $5, but that was okay. Got a little, variation that you could okay with, and then we got our next year's allocation. So, Mr. Bianco, when you're over here telling people who maybe don't know any better, because they really don't know any better, but I do as well as you do. If your happy ass is sitting on budget in the black moment, you've been saving money, and you've been embezzling from the county, because they should have reduced your budget, whatever you saved. You should not have been getting $1.3 million extra the following fiscal year. Your budget should have been dropped because of what you saved. There is no in the black. You just zero it out. I know that. And people that deal with budgets know that. Maybe you don't. I'm thinking that you don't. You pretend like you do, but you don't. And Kim Yeater pointed out that you had a $250 million budget that's now skyrocketed to $1.3 billion, but yet your own department, which you thoroughly chastised for leaking that information out, your own department listed you as 58th out of 58 counties in California in resolving crimes. So we're paying top dollar for you to have the Keystone Cops as a sheriff department in Riverside County? Excuse me. Those folks must be really happy, or they're really afraid of their surrounding community members. Because you barely won your community by 12% of the populational vote, which was 1.3 million eligible voters. You got like 175,000 ballots in your name. Did you investigate that? No. You should have. Less than 13% of your voting electorate, the eligible voters in your county, cast a ballot. Less than 13% for two people, you and some other guy. That was it. Less than 200,000 ballots out of 1.3 million that could have been cast. Let's do what you suggested and take race out of that equation. 12% of the population voted for you, and 88% didn't give a damn about you to vote one way or the other. Now let's throw in the racial mix. It looks like all the Caucasian people voted for you, but the minority population count in Riverside County did not. And for that goofball that keeps throwing out the 59% of Hispanics in Riverside County voted for you, 59% of what, sir? 5, 15, 25, 25,000? Because whatever it is, that 59% of Hispanics that voted for Chad Bianco still didn't push him over the 200,000 vote limit that he won his race in. Oh, I'm not debating that he won. He did. He could have won by 1 point. Who cares? 1 vote. I'm debating your numbers. And you probably don't want to have that debate with me on numbers. But that's your option. So 56% of the Hispanic vote, you probably got about 100 people vote for you in the Hispanic community. God bless them. Probably was not the illegal population, the ones you're trying to buy your vote now for pathway to citizenship conversations. So now we're going to go back to that holiday you want to do to consolidate and remove a few holidays. Number one, Mr. Bianco, you would pretty much blow up every union up and down this state trying to get rid of a time paid off holiday on the calendar. I give you this, you'll have some cojones if you try it, but they'll get handed to you when you're done having that conversation with the unions. And the first ones that are going to school you are your own police unions and your own sheriff unions, because that shit ain't going to fly. Let's just be brutally honest. You ain't going to lose them dates. Now, you can create a voting holiday. That's my proposal. We're going to set aside a day to vote, even if it's just half a day. You will be released to go and cast a ballot. Whether you do or not, that's up to you individually. But we'll give you that time so that there is no excuse. And even then, the unions will fight me over that. They'll want a full day. I'm going to say half a day. And we'll come to the happy medium. Been a union guy, know how to deal with the unions, worked with them before. They don't particularly care for me either, but they know that I get shit done when I put my nose to it. United Public Employees Union Local 1. You can look them up and ask the guy that's still in charge there, Mr. Ted Samara. Will he say nice things about me? I don't know what Mr. Samara will say. That's on him. But my history speaks for itself there. So now we're going to the union question, because there's been a lot of talk about unions. And once again, the Republicans are doing their old playbook routine again. Once again, they are attacking the unions, the corrupt school unions, the corrupt labor unions, SEIE unions, union, bad unions. They supplant, they overturn, they prop up, they fund crappy laws, crappy this, crappy that. They help Democrats only. And Leo, shame on you for being a former union member. I never made no contentions about that I was. Here's the union I was in. Here are the positions that I held at the same time. Governing board, chief steward, safety officer. 5,000 people under my control. Yep. Chad Bianco likes to brag about he had 5,000 people in his department that he controls, plus all the other entities, which might amount to what? 10,000 people? 15,000 people, maybe, given the amount of expanse of what he was trying to list. You were in charge of 15,000 people? Cool. You're the only one with the experience. Well, somebody that's only ever been in Riverside County would probably say that, because they've never been anywhere else to experience anything else. And I'm the only candidate on the field that has that knowledge. You probably are right. You're the only person who's been locked away in Riverside County for 33 years, who's dealt with that realm of people that you've never expanded your horizons from. Me, I was sent to Camp Doha, which is in the middle of Kuwait, during the time when they thought they were getting ready to have the second Gulf War kick off and take place. Little did I know I volunteered to go there early, which is why I ended up in a combat zone. I volunteered to go to a combat zone. Isn't that a hoot? When my family found out, they freaked. When I found out, I was like, what the hell did I just do? Well, shit happens. I'm in the military, so what? And yeah, I wasn't in direct control over those folks because they had their own command structure and elements. I get all that. But as the finance non-commissioned officer, in charge of the finance unit sent there, 25,000 soldiers' pay, benefits, and entitlements were under my care. That had to work through a computer system locally and in the States nearly 15 hours apart, with interference potential from all the other bases that these troops came from. How did I get them out of my hair with polite contacts and some gruff wordings? How did I get my people to back off with the backing of an individual that was back in my command that told the command structure, don't interfere, let him do his job? We didn't have a problem with 25,000 soldiers deployed for potential combat, sir. Their shit was squared away. But that's my experience, and we're not talking about me, we're talking about you, Mr. Bianco. People want to attack unions. You want to attack unions. A lot of people want to attack the unions, but I think you folks are stuck on stupid because you didn't listen to what I told you the first time. What is a union made of? People. Why did they form a union? To defend against the stupidity of management. Where is the clout from the unions? From the amount of people that joined the unions. Somewhere in the mix it got a little dirty and coerced, and the primary reasoning got lost. Now, in order to get a state job, you have to join to a union, or you don't get employed. And if you don't want to be full-blown union due-paying members, you're going to be a fair share paying union member, which means instead of giving one full percentage point of your income, you're going to give up about 95 to 90% of your income as the dues. What the union does with that due money, well, some unions have board of directors, some unions have governing boards. All of them vote to decide where that money goes for political purposes, but the union leadership is the one that pushes the envelope. The union PACs are the one that makes the huge check payouts. Members come from a variety of households: Democrat, Libertarian, Green, Republicans, Democrats, no party preference. They're all people that are working within state government, forced to be in the union. You don't like it, too damn bad. Change the law. Good luck with that fight. Let me know how that goes for you, by the way. I kind of agree with the concept. I think if your union is all that in a bag of chitlins, people will join you because of your reputation being stellar. But to be forced to do it, I have an issue with. Even if it's forced to pay fair share, I have an issue with. But they were formed by people. You might not like their politic, but they were formed by people. And when I say people, who am I talking about? Citizens of the state of California. Voters. SEIU has over, a couple of 100,000 voters on their rolls. Look at the other unions. Thousands and thousands of voters on their rolls. You want to wage war on the union, sir? Good luck. You've just pissed off 2-3% of the voting bloc. And their reach is far. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying what it is. I have no problem with the union membership. I have issue with the union leadership. I've made that distinction very clear early on in my campaign. You, however, are not bright enough to figure it out yet because you want to wage war on the unions, like many of our other contemporaries do. And just for kicks and giggles, I didn't mention Mr. Hilton in this because he's clueless when it comes to unions, period. So we'll skip him. But that's my video. When you want to wage war on the unions, be very careful of what you're trying to advocate for. Taking away holidays to consolidate one on a day off to vote. Yeah. Sometimes you say some really boneheaded stuff, and I think the hope is from you is that nobody catches it. And the party's praying that nobody compares it to other statements that you have made, in which case you have to heavily redact, retract, change, alter, or make excuses for. Well, this is one of them. You want to remove paid holidays for union membership and only provide one day for the purpose of voting in an election. But you're not really clear on how you're going to get rid of the other holidays, or even which ones you're talking about. Because some of them are federal holidays. They're not going away by you. You want to get rid of taxes? That's fine. You still haven't said anything about what spending you're going to cut back. You're promising the world getting rid of taxes. Nice tidbit, doesn't mean shit. You're all about Second Amendment rights. You're the only guy that knows anything about Second Amendment rights, and you want to have people have the ability to have a weapon, buy a weapon, carry a weapon, do this with a weapon, blah, 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 all kinds of 2A stuff. You're all about 2A. But yet, and this is probably the fault of the Republican Party, or maybe some people who are your supporters and never press this question. So what? You got to carry a concealed permit. Oh my God, Leo, you're treading. Don't go there, Leo. Don't go there. Follow the logic. You're fretting about people being able to carry a weapon. Okay, so what? You're fretting about people having a concealed carry weapon permit. Okay, so what? You're worried about being able for people to buy weapons and put in their home. So what? That's what you're worried for, is their right to have the weapon. That's great. So what? What is 2A? Having a weapon. Having a weapon means what? Not a damn thing. Because if you try and pick it up and use it in California today, it's not the criminal that's going to suffer, it's you, the gun owner. I blasted Bobby trying to force his way into my home. Have you seen that video online with that whack job that forced his way into a home with a woman and her child, having to call the husband who races home, confronts the intruder with a shovel? That woman would have been armed. You would have had a news channel vision of intruder was shot by a woman defending her children. Charges pending. Family coming out the woodwork suing. Oh my God, Bobby just had mental illness. You didn't have to kill him. Bobby didn't have to try and force his way into somebody else's home either. My thing about 2A is having a weapon is nice, but people, in my opinion, should be able to utilize that weapon to defend themselves, their families, and their business, their property, because it's not somebody's to take nilly-willy. It's the owner's stuff. Leave the stuff alone. Don't play stupid games, and you won't have stupid consequences. If Bob puts 3 rounds in Chester's chest because Chester forced his way in, and I don't care what Chester's reasoning is, he broke into a home clearly not his own, then Chester's going to go bye-bye. And Chester's family doesn't get to sue Bob and his family because they defended themselves against Chester. Now, if Bob put 3 in Chester's back, then let the chips fall where they may. Might be an illegal shoot. Damn Skippy. Run the enforcement. Do the investigation. That's what we have trials for. Innocent until proven guilty. You put 3 in Chester's back, Bob. What were you thinking? Well, that's some bitch. But that's not a legal shoot, dude. So you're not the only guy that talks about 2A as if you're the only expert that knows anything about anything. You know a lot about Riverside County, and that's all you know. You're very limited in the scope of what you know, only on where you know it. Unlike me, matched up against you, that knows a hell of a lot more than what you give me credit for. But I still have a month to highlight your shortcomings. God bless you one and all. Have a great night. And whatever happens with the Modoc Endorsement Committee decision, that's up to them. and it's up to God on how that falls. My name is Leo Naranjo, the fourth candidate for governor in the 2026 election. Leo Naranjo, the number 4gov.com. Look it up. You'll find me there. Take care.